Hello to you on Facebook and on YouTube. Hello from me.
Hello.
Let me show you Jojo. There she is.
Hello.
We are in Studio 1 at BBHQ. We're just having a piece of news. And we'll be with you very, very shortly in, well, not very long at all. Indeed we are. That was the news. This is Pure 247 Radio. The Get You Home Show, it is not. Nor the Jojo Show, nor Pure Brunch. Oh no, this is our flagship show. Family Focus. I didn't know what flagship meant.
Didn't you?
No, the first.
Are we on YouTube and Facebook yet?
Yeah, we are.
Oh, wow, cool. Hello. Hello, everybody.
Yes, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube. It's all working
at
well.
The press of a button or two.
YouTube's a press of a button. Facebook
not so much.
Needs a bit more concentration.
It's Family Focus, Jojo and Andy B doing the high and low game in the main, but may have some stories as well if we have time. Are we going to go straight on with the high low?
We can. Well, I'm just making sure I've got everything as
everything's working. Everything's tickety boo.
Well, everything's working. Let's just
love that phrase.
Leave that. We were watching Foyle's War one time. The Foyle's War. If you've never watched this before, Foyle's War is it was a series. It's not made anymore. They were very, very long episodes.
Yes.
But they were almost film-like, and they were certainly film quality, I thought. And they were on a Sunday evening every so often. There weren't millions of these things, but they were set in the Second World War. Yeah. So there was a sort of the build up to the war, the wartime, and then it finished when the war ended, and it went on, and it was really good. But one of the characters, she was very, very well spoken, and she helped the policeman get about and drive and all that. Yeah. And yes, I loved it when he said, "Oh, tickety boo,
tickety boo,"
and you think, yes, I can imagine that person, that character saying that word in that time.
Yeah, absolutely. Love it. So are we going to get on straight away with the lows and highs?
What was that actress's name?
I can't remember.
I want to know now.
Oh, no. It was a very sweet name, wasn't it? Absolutely.
Wasn't it Honey Huckle?
Oh, yeah. Honey something.
Hang on. I want to know now. Honeysuckle Weeks.
Oh, what an interesting
I wasn't
name.
a million miles away, was I?
No.
No, Michael Kitchen, of course.
Oh, yes.
Foyle.
Absolutely fantastic.
Paul Milner, Sergeant Milner, Anthony Hull. We liked that series. We liked that series a lot. In fact, we've got the box set, haven't we?
Yeah.
Which we quite like.
So we can watch it whenever we want to.
We can. So, the high-low game.
Yes.
Do you remember what year this began?
It was, well, no. I mean, it's a
long time ago.
Yeah, before children. We were dinkies, weren't we? Double income.
Can I have some pepper?
Pepper?
I'm still having my lunch.
Yes. Double income, no kids yet. So it was prior to children, wasn't it? One of those. It came from a film we used to watch with Bruce Willis and Michelle Pfeiffer, was it? A Story of Us. And there's a time when they play this game around the kitchen table and everyone has to come up with a high and a low. I think they did the high first and then the low, and they each went round the table.
I'm hoping my crunching of my pepper is not coming.
No, I hope it's not. So I hope, but we tend to go for the low first and then the high, and we do that. That's what we do here on Pure 247 Radio. That's how we do it at home. We did it. I think we did it in New Year, where we talked about what was the high and low of your year. We've done it how was the weekend?
That was fun.
That was fun.
It was a challenge, but it was fun.
It was. But this is just a week, but I say a week, just a week. I can't remember what I did like 5 minutes ago. But hey ho, whatever sticks out for you as being a high and a low, that's the thing, isn't it?
Well, your high surely is speaking with Adam Holt.
Well, yeah, I have. I've got that written down. I did the breakfast show as well.
Your first ever interview.
Was it?
Yeah, we were driving home from Bradford from Christians Against Poverty. We'll share some of that with you in a bit. But we were driving home from there, listening away to the radio. Who was on Thursday? It was Andy Brown, wasn't it?
Was it?
Andy Brown was on. And perhaps it was an advert for this show or something. But we both said, it's Joe's first interview this Sunday. We suddenly had that reality of she's never actually done one.
Adam is so easy to interview.
Isn't he great?
Oh, he's just so laid back, so cool. He's funny. He knows what to say. He's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I thought he was going to do all the talking, but he does like some interaction, so that was nice too.
But because I was not there this time, it was far less two angry men. Which we do sometimes have a little bit of a rant about the stupidity of lane controlling radar in cars, which is just stupid. And all the safety devices on cars, which are all stupid.
Was Adam on his best behaviour then?
Possibly.
We had a good time.
Well, if he knows me, he's thinking, Joe is Andy's wife. Is she like him and she goes off on all sorts of places?
I don't.
He's probably nervous. Meeting the great Jojo. Where's she going to go next?
Oh dear. So yeah, I would say that is my high. I did enjoy that because I do. And I genuinely like Plugged In. I think they're a fantastic organisation. From family, Focus on the Family, isn't it, in America?
Focus on the Family.
They do a great service to help us not to watch things that perhaps might not be beneficial if we are not wanting to see those kinds of things.
Indeed.
Absolutely fantastic. Yes, so that would be my high. Breakfast show as well. Whilst you guys went off to see Christians Against Poverty, that was fantastic. But you know what? I've got another thing. I know it's a small little thing, but you're
Are you doing highs?
Oh, I am.
I
We're
just
supposed to
referenced
do
one thing.
low. Yeah, you just set me off. Oh, press the button and off I go. No, we here do the lows first.
Which you said, and I suddenly realised you were talking about the high.
I know. Oh, do you know what? I haven't gotten around to writing a low.
What is it you used to
do
say?
Yours.
You do a high-low sandwich. When you want to give bad news, you stick a low in the middle of two bits of good news.
They do that, don't they, on How to Train a Dragon, the episodes, when there's something about that, you know, when
Honey
you're trying
and the
to... Honey and the Hatchet. Say something nice and then whack 'em one with what you really want to say.
Pretty much.
Oh, your hair looks nice. Can I have? I'm sure. I think children know that already, don't they? How to get what they want.
They are born with that ability. If I'm honest,
I think it's like some sort of I don't know what it's a brain cell or something in there. It's in the DNA.
You have a brain cell.
Do you know what? I haven't got round to thinking about lows. Can you do your lows and give me time to think about my lows?
I can do my lows.
Go on then.
Eating lunch.
That's your low.
I haven't finished a sentence.
Sorry. Yes,
Welcome
you're not allowed
to the world of Andy B and Jojo, where Andy B says something and Jojo goes, "Well, what's this about? Where are you going with that?"
You're not allowed to
in the
judge.
middle of a sentence.
I think high and lows like brainstorming. You're not allowed to judge, are you? They're allowed to say what's the high and low. So sorry, I broke the rule there.
A low point, yeah. I was just taking a breath.
Go on then.
Having my lunch.
Mm-hmm.
However, we were a little bit late beginning.
Yeah.
Because we ran out, we're at church this morning, and then we had to get some shopping on the way home, and so we got back a bit later than intended because it's a bit of a busy week. We'll talk to you more about that through the rest of the show, but because it's a 3 and a bit day week for us, not a 5-day week, because Monday bank holiday, and we're away Friday afternoons. We're shutting down at 3 o'clock to get over to meet Adventure Plus. We'll talk to you about the sponsor later. But because of all that, it means it's quite a short week. So thinking to try and find time, because we've got to go and post some magazines, which is exciting. People are buying magazines, which is great, but now we have to post them.
Yeah.
So trying to factor that in. So we went shopping. So all that means is we're a bit late to start our show today.
Yeah.
So I had my pizza just after. It also meant because I forgot to do the Pure Media, the magazine promo audio.
Yeah.
I did that at about 4 minutes past 3.
Oh, that's
But we have the technology, the skills, and the teamwork.
I'm just trying to think of my life. I guess I did miss you guys because you were away, weren't you, overnight and over
I don't
the
like
day.
eating my food in the show.
No, that's not nice,
But
is
I
it?
don't like going hungry in a show either, and the hunger wins.
The food was nice. That is a high. I mean, obviously, that's why I was worried about you saying, "What's wrong with your lunch?"
Nothing. I've got black olives. I've got peppers, sweet corn, some lovely salad,
healthy.
some beautiful pizza.
Oh, I hope Andy Godfrey's not listening because you know what? He when I was talking about salad on the Pure Brunch, he wanted to impress with that. But it's okay because you got it with pizza.
yeah. Sorry, Andy. I have had salad. With my pizza. Yeah.
Oh, salad. Anywho, my low point. I think it's you guys being away. It's always sad, isn't it? You know, the house is a bit empty and there's more work to do. But then there's more food to eat. So, you know, it's swings and roundabouts. That was my idiom from last week, not this week.
As much as I really love the frenetic nature of this season in our life, and I do like being busy. I don't like sitting. Yeah, frenetic.
Ooh,
do you want a dictionary?
That should be a spell check. That should be, yeah.
I thought you knew what the word meant.
Oh, I'm guessing.
Busy.
I guessed that, yeah.
So 2 weeks ago, we were in Salford, and then we were in Bradford, Rotherham and Leeds. That was 2 weeks ago. In this past week, we were in Bradford with Christians Against Poverty at their HQ with some lovely, lovely, lovely people. I met lots of people, but we interviewed 13 of the people there. So
they were live, but we can get them on catch up, or they're coming back onto some of the shows.
When we've edited them.
Yeah.
Because we're a bit busy.
I know. No, what's that word again for busy?
Frenetic.
Frenetic.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're a bit frenetic. So yeah, my low point was it's a really busy season. So sometimes you feel the strain of that, but also it's on top of everything else. We've still got the magazine to get out. We've still got to hoover the carpets and wash the car and get some diesel. That stuff still has to happen on top of lots of data.
Get your medicine from the hospital.
Medication. So I'm on medication, which is rather important stuff. I take my heart medication every 12 hours, and it sort of matters because it helps my heart not to go off on a little
need that, yeah.
freestyle strop.
Yeah.
So we rang up our GP, and 3 or 4 weeks I don't have any medication from the GP because, honestly, useless. Absolutely useless. You rang up my cardiology surgeon, who I'm not supposed to have access to easily. You ring them up, and they say, it's done. Half an hour. I mean, this is the thing. Half an hour later, they had 3 months of medication ready in the hospital pharmacy. My GP for 3 weeks couldn't even get a prescription written.
Well, it wasn't quite like that because we were changing doctors, so it's not completely their fault.
There's nothing we can do. That's funny. My cardiology surgeon could.
Yeah, it was more the pharmacy than potentially the GP because they got their end sorted out. But yeah, anywho, the hospital were absolutely amazing. That would be a high point.
So Thursday morning,
were lovely.
I'm in Bradford at Christians Against Poverty. I take my last heart pill.
I know. It's a bit
and I'm thinking,
scary.
Well, if I get home and there isn't one when I get home, I'm going to have an issue.
You weren't worried, were you? Just a smidge.
Worried. I wouldn't say worried. I was a bit pensive. Because it really does make some.
But you can get
effects.
Emergency medication.
Well, yeah, I thought I might have to go and start to beg, borrow, and steal from the pharmacy, minus the stealing part. It's like, please, sir, can I have some more medicine before I die? Which is not.
Well, it's not that
bad.
drastic.
Yeah, but anyway, it's a bit frustrating.
So that was your low point, probably not being able to get your medication on. Well, it was in the nick of time, wasn't it?
It was in the nick of time because I came home when it was there ready in this huge bag. 3 months worth.
Yeah, 3 months worth, actually, yeah.
So GP, useless. Hospital, amazing.
That's not fair.
It is fair.
I don't think that was fair because they did get the prescription sorted. It's just that we changed doctors. So maybe it would have been different had that not been the case.
However, this is really important. This is heart medication. Nothing we can do.
There
is something you can do. It's called get a doctor to get me heart medication before my heart goes off on one.
Yeah, they didn't
Since your stupid systems are the reason why it's taken 3 weeks
but
to get this organised.
But in fairness, the hospital was the cardiology department, and that is their thing, isn't it?
Yeah, but they're not supposed to do repeat prescriptions. That's not what the
Don't
hospital
they?
does.
Oh,
No,
well, they didn't complain. They didn't say anything.
Well, no, because when I first had my prescription, said doctor, lovely, absolutely fantastic cardiology surgeon. Okay, she operated on me last July. She was fixing the inside of my heart whilst I was looking at it, by the way. Anyway, very lovely. So she wrote me a prescription. My first one. The idea being they write you a prescription for a month and then you go to your GP, the letter comes, they sort it and you get your repeat prescriptions, okay? At that point, the GP, they're just a signature. It's controlled by the consultant. That's fine. But anyway, so she gave me a prescription. I went to a pharmacy. You're breaking the law. I might have to call the police and get you arrested. You're going to get to prison because you've got an illegal prescription.
You weren't impressed with that, were you?
I've just come back from my cardiology surgeon who's given me this piece of paper. When I rang her on the number I was given, she went ballistic.
She was upset, wasn't she?
She was fuming because, this is the stupidity, she didn't write the date down and she didn't write how many pills I needed. Because you don't need to know how many pills, because any pharmacist would know. And why does it need a date? It doesn't. So I went to the pharmacy. If I put this through, you're breaking the law. That's criminal behaviour. So I rang her up and she said,
no.
Right, write down the date, write down 28, and they can't complain. I get to the next pharmacy, same chain, by the way, I'm not going to mention who, get to the next chain. Why did they bother writing down the number and the date? We don't need those details.
We know, it's a common knowledge.
What would this show be without an Andy B rant?
You can't write this. You've missed having a rant with Adam. I think that's what it is.
Two angry men.
You're gonna have to speak to him.
If there was ever a game of Angry Birds and they wanted to make it two angry men, you just stick me and Adam's faces with little red hats on or something. Yeah, honestly, the system's broken. It is broken. We know it's broken.
Oh, but they do their best.
Glad that my cardiologist did what she shouldn't need to have done because my GP couldn't be bothered.
So let's not get back in this place.
Who knows? Maybe the actual doctor person could have done.
Doctor person?
Well, the person on the switchboard on the thing. This is what really...
Oh, no, here we go.
This really irritates me, okay? If you're not a cardiology consultant surgeon, please don't speak with authority on things you do not know, like that you can't do that. I just need to switch into this. We can't do that. Well, we can't. That's terrible. How can you even suggest that? mostly because the doctor suggested that I do that particular thing. No, that's terrible. No, we will never do that. Could you just be a receptionist and give the piece of paper to a medical expert?
Yes.
I'm not putting down receptionists, okay? Not a problem. If you're a receptionist, fantastic. But don't try and be a pretend doctor.
No. Okay.
Because
We'll try that.
that's sort speaking with authority when they don't have a clue what they're talking about. Quite clearly, paramedic. I had a really severe case of going off on one. A really severe case of atrial fibrillation. My heart is beating at 250, 260 beats a minute. I go to see my local doctor, superb by the way, years ago, and he said, right, this is very classic atrial fibrillation. Sorry, Mr. Barry, we're going to call 999 and get you an ambulance to get you to hospital as soon as possible. Ambulance arrives. No, it's not atrial fibrillation, says the paramedic. Well, the doctor who's been a doctor for the last 20 years seems to think it is. You've been a paramedic by the look of it about
What, did the doctor have an argument with the ambulance?
No, I did.
Well, wasn't the doctor there?
No, because I was in the back of the ambulance. Get to hospital,
I see.
and all the doctors, because you get to see quite a few doctors, said, "Oh yeah, classic atrial fibrillation. Could you please tell me this individual over there who said it's not?" I get annoyed by people who don't have the level of knowledge but make seriously big decisions, because she said, "I will tell them it's not," and I said, "Well, please don't." And besides which, my doctor's letter trumps your opinion, because he actually wrote a letter saying blah blah blah, fact.
I mean, I can't say anything because I'm not in the system, and I know you've had to deal with these people a lot more than I do.
I don't have a problem with different levels of people. Paramedics, brilliant. I mean, they go to hospital, great.
Yeah.
I've had some. I have had to have a paramedic and an ambulance a few times. It happens. But please don't tell me you know more than a 20-year experienced doctor when you're about 22 and a half.
Yeah,
You do
they're
not
probably
know as much
older
as
than
my
you
doctor.
think, but
I don't think she was actually.
So have we done
she
your
kept
low
on referring
points?
to you as my partner, and I kept on saying, "She's not my partner, she's my wife." I have actually got. I was getting quite cross in the back of the ambulance. We both have wedding rings because we are married. My wife, not my partner. Don't care what you want to call her, but call her what I.
My preferred
It is my
name.
wife. I married her for a reason. These sorts of things wind me up.
I see that. I see that. So that's a low point. What was your low point? I forgot. Oh, you've had your low point.
You reminded me about.
Oh, that's my fault, is it?
People.
Should we do our high points?
I've got other lows coming in.
Are you supposed to play some music now or something and take a break? No, we carry on.
Do you want me to shut up? Is
no,
that what
no,
you're trying to
no,
get me to do?
I'm just because I'm so used to doing this on the radio where we used to take a song, didn't we? And then we would play the highs.
We haven't got any manual sound effects yet. Can I do Andy Godfrey's low?
Oh yeah, go on then.
Hello, Andy. His low point still got a touch of insomnia.
Oh.
Just listen to me having a rant, Andy. That probably won't.
That'll send you to sleep. Yeah.
Thank you, dear, for that encouragement.
So what was Andy's high? We're not doing his high yet, then.
Well, you're working through the lows.
Well, okay.
Have we done highs yet?
Well, no, we're just about to. So
Well,
what's Andy's high?
I haven't done his high because we're in
Go
the
on,
middle of the
I'd
lows.
like to hear Andy's high.
I have forgiven all these people, by the way, but
I know.
It does irritate me when people speak with authority on things they don't know about. And I'm sorry, but a very, very brand new paramedic is not going to trump a 20-year experienced doctor.
Yeah.
On that.
But they might think they trump a patient, which is what you were at the time.
But I had my letter from the doctor which stated atrial fibrillation. I said to the doctor in hospital, who was a very senior A&E, because I just arrived in the inner sanctum where the blue lighty people go, like me, whose heart is about to go. And she said...
Is that a technical term?
Yeah. And she said, yeah, the paramedic's wrong, your doctor's right.
Oh.
I know. I told her that, but she wouldn't listen to me. Anyway.
So what were we saying? Andy G. So I'm sorry you've not been sleeping. Hope that you'll resolve that. But what's good's been happening?
Do you know, an Andy B rant, it makes the world better.
You think?
You realise your life is less bad than you thought it was. Hi, seeing and loving Mission Impossible and getting to review it on Pure247 Radio.
Oh, yes.
With Nathan on Friday.
Dabby Dozy. Awesome.
Who used to say that?
It was those two.
Cranky, something.
Crankies, yes.
Oh,
like that. They were brilliant.
There we go. Anyway, yes, so Andy is very happy. Mission Impossible. I mean, it's got to be good.
We did talk a little bit about Mission Impossible, myself and Adam, and I just how fast those films are. So, there's Andy talking about being, sort of not sleeping, but that Mission Impossible, it must have been shattered. I know it's Tom Cruise that does the running and everything, but don't you feel tired when you're watching him?
No, because I'm not doing it. He is.
I think, oh, slow down, Tom.
Come on, Tom.
Come on.
Sit down. Let's have a cup of tea.
Yeah.
I didn't see you say that. Too.
Yeah.
Right, I'm just trying to get the messages in the right places for myself to see what's going on. Here we go. Right, yeah, Andy, seeing and loving Mission Impossible. I mean, I think it's supposed to be the last one because I don't think Tom Cruise wants to do any more.
No. Well, we want to work
Because
through.
Tom Cruise in a really fangle squirt wheelchair the next one if we keep on going.
Well, if he becomes the boss, so he didn't have to do so much running around. You know, like what's it called? The head of the Mission MI, whatever they're called. MI. MIF. No.
Who's the guy that did it in one of the previous ones?
Ooh,
Lawrence Fishburne.
Oh, he was brilliant.
He was very
Was
good.
Is that who did it?
Yeah,
I can't remember now.
No,
what's his name? Alec Baldwin was one, wasn't he? At some point.
Yeah, but I think Lawrence Fishburne, that voice, that face, that whole demeanour.
So I think we need to watch all the Mission Impossibles, and then by the time we've watched them all, we'll be ready to watch the new one come out. I don't know when it comes out on DVD and stuff.
I don't
know.
I
look forward to that.
I think we should do like all the MIs. We've done the Star Wars binge
Yeah.
up to the old three, the first three that came out second, but are actually first. We've done those, and then we did at least two.
Yeah.
Which I think is as far as we went.
Yeah.
But we could do them. We could do the Star Wars. We've done that one.
Yeah.
But we could do Mission Impossible.
Absolutely. Do you know what?
Every Mission Impossible film.
We should watch the original as well. The original actual. It was a series, wasn't it?
From the 60s?
Was it? Yeah, wasn't it?
60s, 70s.
I don't know. I've never seen it, but is it probably black and white? Was it? No, not in the 60s.
Not that old.
Not that old. So, anywho, my high I think was speaking to Adam. And what was your high? Because you've been grumbling a lot, so you better come up with some pretty big highs.
Honestly, Christians Against Poverty.
Oh,
it's got to be. So we drove across to Bradford on Wednesday evening, staying with some lovely friends, Paul and Ros, and I'm really sorry about the cork breaking. Not my fault. Dodgy cork.
Breaking?
Bottle of wine. The cork broke.
Oh, like a proper cork.
Real cork, and they didn't have a bottle opener, so I used my trusty one, and the cork just disintegrated in the bottle.
You didn't get any bits in. Do you have to sieve it?
Yeah, we did through kitchen.
Do you know what? I haven't had a bottle of wine with cork in it for such a long time. We're terrible. We just have the screw top.
I know. It was a very nice bottle of wine.
Oh, was it? Oh,
we
lovely.
did have to sieve it.
Oh.
Not my fault. The cork was just disintegrated.
Weird.
Coming out in pieces.
Yeah.
Not good.
Oh.
Good wine, bad cork.
Yeah.
It's fine. We sieved it through kitchen towel.
Oh dear.
I was fine with that. Just saying. The whole thing.
Yeah.
So a chap called Joe Biddle, he was our liaison during the day, and honestly, it was just it was absolutely superb. I found myself quite tired by the day for very new reasons because I was sobbing my way through most of the interviews.
Oh, it was emotional.
Not because it was really bad stuff, but because of the heart and passion of the team at Christians Against Poverty was just beautiful.
Yeah. And the changed lives. The changed lives. They really make a huge difference. I love it. That's why we love Pure247 Radio, isn't it? We get to meet loads of people who are doing fantastic things across the country.
From Susie or Susan. I'm really sorry. So she accessed the service 10 years ago. Somebody who found themselves in debt via Yvette, who was a local worker. We met Yvette, who was the person that actually helped her 10 years ago, and they've stayed in touch. All the different people like. Let's see how my name recollection is, because my name recollection is terrible. Liz, who works in sort of legislation and the law, answers phone calls and that sort of thing. We've got people like Keith. Oh, lovely Keith.
Oh, I enjoyed listening to
wonderful. Keith, I mean, he used to be, a decent level as a tax man. He now works for Christians Against Poverty, scanning bits of paper that really are important, by the way, and just serves other people.
But it's a trusted position because there's lots of confidential information going through.
There is indeed.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant.
There are people who are the call handlers. There are people who support the people like Yvette who go out into the community and go to people's homes and help them. There was Katie and Anna. Anna is responsible for trying to bringing Jesus and God into everything that goes on everywhere.
Yeah.
Her eyes were like fire of happiness and brightness and joy. But everybody, and that's the thing, everybody I met, there was a tangible and quantifiable sense of joy and peace and hope. And when you consider that the sort of people who are reaching out to Christians Against Poverty are in probably one of the most distressing and depressing times of their life, it's really hard stories. So frequently, it's not their fault.
Yeah.
The number of stories they get through when life's just not gone the way that they might have wanted it to, and you find yourself in debt. 60% of people now are living in a deficit budget.
Yeah.
Something like that. So before they start the month, before anything goes wrong, they're working really hard. No problems, no wasted money. they don't have enough money to live.
I just find it really hard on an individual basis when you go into debt. There's this sort of big raised eyebrow, shunned and all this stuff. And I know Christians Against Poverty do not judge, and they really are wonderful and lovely. And it could happen to anyone. Is what the message seemed to be coming through. But isn't our government in debt? Shouldn't they be in trouble? And shouldn't we be raising eyebrows at them?
I would say so.
I don't get economy though, to be fair, so maybe I shouldn't say anything. But so shouldn't there be some leniency on individuals?
Off air, which I'll make on air, which is if somebody acted like the government act, they would get a slap on the wrist and they'd be told you can't behave like that. You need to be careful with your budget.
Yeah.
But the government just think, borrow 100 billion quid.
Yeah.
That'll be right. We'll pay it back later. But everybody else is told that's really bad.
Yeah.
If you can't afford to do what you got to do, then don't just borrow money for the sake of it. I get infrastructure and all that stuff, and it is costly. Yeah, okay, I get that. This isn't a political thing. It's more, I think the government needs to go back to basics. Whichever government, I don't care what colour they are. And if you don't have it, you can't spend it. Because if you don't spend what you don't have, then you don't run out.
Well, thank goodness for Christians Against Poverty anyway, and all kinds of organisations and charities that support people through these situations, which can be life-saving. Yeah, in a lot of ways.
Honestly, Christians Against Poverty, just astounding.
So we'll hear more from them, won't we, in the coming weeks?
We've got I think we did 13 interviews. They will all be edited in the next week or two, because of what we've got coming up. Got another low high.
Oh, excellent.
Yep. Dan Rouse. Hello, Dan.
Cool.
He is your Tuesday Pure Brunch buddy. Low point, work deadlines are creeping up, but at least I've got work to do.
Ah,
there's a nice spin,
silver lining.
So we expect this from Dan. It's a good lad. His high point, Tottenham winning a trophy for the first time in 17 years.
Ooh, wow.
Now, I actually watched some of that football match.
Oh, did you?
Yes. I know you look as shocked as I did.
know.
So we arrived at our friends.
Yeah.
We were a bit later than planned. But we arrived with our friends and they were watching the football. Now, we don't have a TV license, so we don't do things like that anymore.
Yeah.
Haven't done for 10 years plus. Don't miss a TV license at all. So they were watching the footy, and there was lots of shouting going on because there's a bit of passion going on, and I didn't know why. And I was really thrown because why are they two English clubs playing in Spain or Italy, wherever they were?
Oh, what championship was it?
Yeah, it wasn't a UK one.
No, okay. Well,
And
anyway,
it wasn't the worldy one either.
No.
There's another one.
Oh,
Apparently.
okay.
Was it EU, Europe, or?
I think we better quit talking about football while we're not ahead.
Can you tell my really good knowledge on football? But anyway, there was 22 blokes kicking a bag of wind between some goalposts.
Well, I'm glad Dan's happy. That's good. But then I guess the other team aren't happy. So sorry to
was
those.
It Man United?
I think so. I think you're right.
Man United were playing. There was one of the teams with some red shirts.
It's unusual for Man United not to win, isn't it?
Can you just bask in the glow of my lack of football knowledge?
Cool. Let's move on to a different subject. Actually, we're out of time now. It's 4:30.
We haven't even got to news. We'll come
That's
back. That's
amazing.
Let's have a song. We'll come back and do some news. Just checking on messages. No, I'm up to date now.
Okay, good. You're going to play a bit of music then?
I'm going to play some music.
And we'll come back.
What do you want?
Ooh, what have we got?
Well, we're about here now on the log, so
I don't know. What's Scritty Polity? That's that a good one?
But it's on Pure 247
Well, no,
Radio, darling. It has to be good because we only have good music.
Of course.
And if it's not good, we don't play it.
Absolutely.
And of course, it's 3-point pure.
Yes.
Means no bad language, and it won't promote anything illegal or immoral. So therefore, having been lyric checked by myself or Stephen D, it means it's awesome. Right, if you are on Facebook and YouTube, we're going to take a quick pause. I'm going to stuff some slightly cold sweet corn down my throat, and we'll be back in a moment. We are back for some newsy stuff.
Yes.
If you look over to Joe's shoulder, just on the left-hand side, where it says Pure Media Family, that'll be where the logo is for Project 7.
Ooh.
Scritty Politi then, if you were listening on Pure247 Radio, I keep saying because it's annoying, we can actually play that on Facebook and YouTube. However, despite having a license to do so, they don't care.
No, never mind.
Anyway, moving on.
Moving on to news.
Studies.
Do you know, I picked this one out because we were in the car park earlier and I noticed a seagull walking by and I says, hey, he's got tattoos on it and watch it. And he did seem to be loitering around because you had some chocolate, didn't you? You were sitting in the car, got the windows open. I thought he's after something. So this study shows that seagulls...
My meds was kicking in quite hard.
Oh, yeah, you needed...
I was doing right around Sainsbury's. The thing is, the medication, one of them, what it does is it slows my heart down, which is, that's the whole point. But the problem is it doesn't let my heart speed up.
Yeah.
So when I'm walking around and my heart should be beating faster because I'm walking faster, I get so far and think my heart is still basically asleep.
Yeah, well, I think he smelt the chocolate because he was hovering near our car.
Yeah.
So they say the new study shows seagulls are more gutsy in groups. So that was just one seagull we saw earlier. So
Tons of seagulls.
Yeah, have you ever been swooped on by a hungry gull at the beach? Or...
I haven't. I've watched people.
No, and you think they're just bold food-stealing bandits, but it suggests that they're not as gutsy on their own, not when they're solo. But the researchers say they're much, much bolder where they're in groups, which that kind of makes sense, doesn't it? They found that birds took fewer risks and were slower to snatch food when they were alone. And you tend to see them on their own, don't you? I mean, you see pigeons together. But when they were in groups, they were quicker to dive in on your chips, even when unfamiliar objects were nearby, like a colourful ball or a yellow brush. So when surrounded by other gulls, the birds feel safer and less cautious. So next time you're at the beach and a gang, I mean, like, this is a gang of gulls. You call them a gang of gulls, do you? And they start, I don't know, a gaggle or something. You start eyeing your snack. You might want to act fast because they're braver together. So we were not much in danger then. We had a solo seagull. They're sort of strutting about the car park, eyeing up your chocolate. Had that been like, I don't know how many it would take, 2, 3, 4, 5, I guess just more than one, then I would think we would shut the windows. Yeah, and move.
Yeah,
honk the horn.
Do you remember we were out for a walk the other day, and there was a crow, clearly on the prowl for some eggs, and there was a whole bunch of, was it starlings or robin-sized birds, little things?
Yeah.
And they all were just sort of flying at the crow from different angles until it gave up and flew off.
Yeah, the group of. Did you find out what group of birds are? Because I'm sure it's not a gang. I think that's the kind of a joke of their gang.
A bunch of crows, it's a terror.
Yeah, you get different words for different birds, don't you?
They scare me, crows.
Well, seagulls. What about seagulls? Do they scare you?
Yeah.
There are smaller ones. This one we saw today was small, but some of them are huge, aren't they? I mean,
proper gull.
Different ones.
You sort of think of these now, little birds at the seaside that go.
Oh,
seagulls are huge.
But there are smaller ones, aren't there? And they're not necessarily.
Baby seagulls are small.
Baby seagulls. Oh, for goodness sake. Anywho, so I was drawn to that study because I saw a seagull earlier looking like he was after something, and I was a little bit nervous. But I must admit, I haven't had chips taken off me by a gull or any other bird, for that matter.
I've taken chips off you.
Yeah, yes. I've got other problems.
Does that count?
Do you want this other study?
Yeah.
It's completely different. In fact, actually, it's not completely different because it's about whether people recline their seats on a plane. So we're talking about flying. Yeah. So, I mean...
I've seen many stuff on this.
Ooh, arguments, fisticuffs, problems.
I have some really simple thoughts, but you do your study first.
So it says 68% of people don't recline their seat on a plane. So according to this study, air travellers don't recline on a plane out of consideration for passengers sitting behind them. Well, that's nice. However, 32%, so that's about adds up, right, doesn't it? Think it's more important to prioritise their own comfort over that of the person sitting in the next row.
I'll tell you the situation within which I would not recline my seat.
Yes, go on then.
When the person behind me pays me for my seat.
Well, you wouldn't recline your seat.
No, if they want to pay me for my seat, I'll happily not recline it.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Are you sitting in there?
50 quid, 500 quid, 5,000 quid for a seat.
Yeah.
And it reclines. I don't want you to recline your seat.
No,
I'll tell you what, you pay me my airfare and I'll consider
Well,
that.
it's not that they're not saying there's any argy-bargy. What they're saying is 68% won't do it because they don't want to upset the person behind them. But it says, what is the etiquette surrounding these things? So one flight attendant took to a social media to give a few tips to avoid upsetting anyone. And she said, for some reason, I don't know why this is such an issue on flights, but if the seat has a recline function, they're allowed to recline it, like you're saying. Yeah. However, she said it's important to follow the unspoken rule of common courtesy. So avoid reclining when the person's behind is trying to eat. That's only fair. Like that they're going to end up with food in their lap, aren't they? I mean, you're not literally reclining into their lap, are you? Shouldn't there be more space than that?
No, well...
I can't think.
Look, if I can't recline my seat, then the airline has lied.
Yeah.
Because it's my seat, and if I want to recline, I'm going to recline. I'm not cruel. I'm very thoughtful of other people. But if I have paid for a seat that reclines, and I want to...
do they all recline? Are there only certain ones recline then?
I think they all do to some extent.
To be fair, I don't remember.
I haven't been on a plane. I went to Jersey last summer. Prior to that, 2004.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
I went on an internal flight and I didn't recline because I just sat down and we were getting off again. It was just so short.
Yeah.
I didn't got time. I have been on a long haul flight and I did have the honour of sitting. There wasn't anybody in front of me, so nobody was going to recline onto me because I was in the front bit. I was quite nice.
I genuinely don't know. I guess the people that are upset about people reclining are the same idiots, and I'm going to use that word, that complain about you parking outside their house.
Well, there's no suggestion.
I think it's the same mentality.
There's no suggestion of complaint.
No, it's not.
There's no suggestion of complaints on this one. This is about people feeling bad about the person behind them.
You should prowl across YouTube. You'll see fights.
Oh, are they?
They've had to land planes because somebody had the audacity to recline their seat.
Well, and they go on to say another travel expert suggested that if you're planning to recline your seat, it's worth politely letting the person behind you know in advance. Yeah, and something as simple as just a heads up, I'm going to recline my seat a bit, can go a long way. Better?
Anticipate the fact the person in front of you has full control of their seat, and that you have absolutely no right to what they do or don't do on their seat. It's much easier. In the same way that
I can see,
rather than complaining, you parked outside my house on my road. No, I haven't. I parked my legally insured, taxed and MOT'd vehicle on the public carriageway where
I don't know
why people get in such a state about a piece of concrete they don't own.
Well,
or a reclining seat which they haven't paid for. I don't understand the stupidity.
I don't know why it affects the person behind. You hope it doesn't affect them. But if the stewardess is saying basically, if they're eating, don't recline.
If you reclining your chair causes massive discomfort to the person behind you, that's not your problem.
Well, it kind of is.
No, it's the airline's problem. They should just get rid of all reclining seats, make them not recline.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I need to go. I need to go on a flight and check it out. I'll have to do it.
If somebody wants to pay for us to go on some flights,
research for 24/7.
No, but it's the attitude of people. How dare you invade my space? Get over yourself.
Well, you are invaded on a plane, aren't you? Because we're all in like sardines, aren't we?
Really
it's quite small space.
Pay for business class. Shut up. Put your hand in your pocket and get a better
Most people can't afford that.
In which case, stop complaining. But if we went into life and thought, I don't own the public, I don't actually own the road. It doesn't belong to me. We wouldn't have fights with people parking legally outside someone's house. And if you went onto a plane and thought, it's not my seat in front of me, nothing to do with me, then you wouldn't get so annoyed and angry. And
if you are, calmer. I mean, I suppose if you're in a long haul, you could do with reclining because it's very tiring, isn't it? Just sitting there.
Yeah.
Just sitting there doing nothing.
I do have some thoughts on this, and it's not a rant. It's what happens to actually just respecting other people's space. And by that I mean, if it's not your seat, leave it alone. You can't stop them reclining. People bash the seat to stop them doing it and all sorts. Planes have had to land because the person behind gets so incensed that someone had the audacity to do something they hadn't got any control over.
Actually, what you're saying, potentially 68% of air travellers are probably frightened about reclining in case they cause a problem to the person behind them, maybe.
And I want to recline my seat. I'm just saying now, giving you due fair notice, I'm going to recline my seat. It's that simple. If I paid for it, tough.
Air travellers, beware.
And, not that I fly a lot, you can tell. But the thing is, if you have that much of an issue with it, the really simple solution is buy a first-class ticket.
Actually, I have had experience.
And if you can't afford a first-class ticket, shut up.
No, I've experienced. You do have it on bus. Oh, we went on a coach trip once, didn't we? Not so long ago. That was quite interesting. It just worked out better. And then those seats do go back a bit, don't they? So it does go into your space, your leg space, doesn't it? A little bit.
It's meant to. If you've bought the seat and if you've got a car that's legal, park it wherever the heck you want. And if anybody threatens you, that should be a public order offence.
Well, it is, yeah. Well,
actually, of course it is.
So there you go. Two different studies there.
So aggressive.
Reclining seats and seagulls.
It baffles me.
And then the question is, do you recline your seat? Well, you do, obviously, Andy B. Andy B reclines his seat.
Well, the last plane I was in, it didn't do reclining.
I don't remember, actually.
But the fact it didn't recline, I wasn't banging on the door of the airline, threatening to knock out the pilot unless I had a reclining seat. Do you know why?
Is that what happened?
Because it didn't recline.
That's also happened, is it?
Well, I could imagine it probably would, because somebody somewhere would have a rant, wouldn't it?
Oh.
I want to recline. No.
So we've done our studies now, and we've done our high-low. So
yeah, but what happened to humanity and actually respecting people?
What, having it recline?
If they've paid for a seat that reclines, then they've paid for a seat that reclines, which means the seat can recline. So a reclining seat is what they've paid for.
Yes.
And you don't have a right over that.
I don't think the pilot would have a reclining seat, would they?
Well,
I hope they don't.
Hopefully they're not in the land of Hakuna Matata in the cockpit.
No.
No, but what happened to society where people demand people not to do something they can do? Honestly, people who park on the road, you remember who I'm talking about. How dare they? They'd leave notes. They would actually damage the car.
I'm sure it still goes on.
Don't you park here. We parked outside. Don't you park here. Why not?
I'm sure that still goes on, doesn't it?
Did I move the car? No. I think I said something like, well, if it's scratched, we know who to let the police know about, don't we? And the car was fine. What annoys me is it's the highway, the public road. I've paid for my
highway,
car.
Yes.
It's a highway.
Yeah.
Public carriageway. No, but it upsets me that people get so possessive about something that isn't theirs, which is the problem.
Ah, I see.
That's the reality, though. They're getting angry and upset about a piece of road that isn't theirs.
Yes.
Shut
well, we're
up.
not. You did digress because we weren't talking about roads. We're talking about planes and seagulls.
No, but I said it's the same attitude.
Oh, I see. Okay, there's the connection.
It's the same attitude, isn't it? People who think, no, you're not allowed to recline your seats because I want my space. They're the same idiots that get really angry about somebody legally parking out on the road.
Oh, I get the connection now.
Yeah. It's the same idiocy, and it is. It's selfish. It's horrible. Just stop it.
Yeah. Okay.
Have some respect for people. And if I'm on a plane and it reclines,
you're going to recline,
and you don't like it, do you know what? Two things. Tough. Two, if you want me not to recline, you could always say, I'll tell you what, sir, I prefer not you to do that. So how much was your airfare? I'll cover that, and then I'll pay for the seat in front of me and make sure that it doesn't recline, and then I can be happy.
Yeah.
But no, instead of to do that, they bash the life out of the seat until they have to land the seat, the plane, and take that passenger off.
Whoa.
Not the person who reclined, the person who complained. Quite rightly. And they get banned from air travel. It happens quite frequently.
Ooh, really? I didn't
As
know
it
that.
should be.
Wow. Unbelievable that's going on, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's not right.
As if it's not nerve-wracking enough to go on a plane without that silly business going on, isn't it? So, fortunately, we're not flying anytime soon, are we?
No.
So there we go. Andy's rant about plane travel.
It's like driving along a road, like earlier.
Yeah.
And by the way, we live in the middle of nowhere, so the roads aren't that wide.
Yeah.
So you need to be over the white line because they're not that big.
Yeah.
And I was over the white line, and there was a car over my white line coming towards me. I'm thinking, you've got a little teeny tiny car. Mine actually is a lot wider than yours for a start. To shift over.
Yeah, stay on your side of the road.
What? What is this nonsense about swerving before turning? Do you know what I mean?
No.
So you're driving along a nice wide carriageway. It's big enough for a couple of trucks, and someone's turning left. So what do? They swerve to the right to turn to the left. Can I just say,
new thing, is it?
as a professionally qualified driver of some 20 years, by the way, when I was driving an Arctic, very rarely would I even do that. And
so
you're
there's
in a
no need.
stupid little car.
I wonder what started that off then. Interesting.
Greed, selfishness.
Or potholes? Maybe trying to avoid potholes.
No, it's just greed and selfishness.
Okay.
Nothing else other than that. It's incompetence, it's unprofessional, it's uncourteous, and it's wrong.
Right. So recline your seats.
Yes.
Don't swerve when you turn.
No.
And what was the other thing? And watch out for seagulls in groups.
Yes. If you're going to turn left off the main carriageway, you don't need to swerve. Do you know why? Because you need to slow down.
I don't know if I do that
now. You turn the wheel left and you turn to the left. What you don't do is swing to the right to turn to the left.
I don't know.
I didn't even do that in a truck.
I don't know why someone would do that. I don't know. Maybe it's got into a habit.
Selfishness, greed, lack of care. Really rubbish
Why, what
driver.
does it
Should have
do?
the license taken off them.
Well, what does it do? How does it help?
I honestly, having been a
Maybe
professionally
they think they're
qualified driver
bigger.
for 2 decades, I don't know.
Bigger than they think they are.
Yeah, but truckers don't. I never did that in a truck.
Oh, interesting.
I would do it very, very cautiously and carefully. I didn't just swing across.
Yeah. Okay.
It just means they're not watching what they're doing and they're really, really rubbish behind the car wheel. If you're swinging the wrong way before you turn in a car, can I just say you're a rubbish driver? Learn to drive properly. No, absolutely. It's dangerous.
Okay.
Because they're swerving into oncoming traffic.
Yeah.
Think about it, people.
Yeah.
Good point. Don't upset others. Don't put your car in the path of others.
No.
Hey, it's an Andy B rant day, isn't it? It's all your fault because you chatted to Adam, not me.
I know. Then this is a lesson to be learned. You need to talk to Adam.
Well, it gets it out of our system.
Okay, so we're going to be moving on, aren't we? Back onto the radio and away from YouTube and Facebook.
Do you think?
I think so. And we're going to play a bit more music because we've only got time for a little bit more, haven't we? And then after 5 o'clock, we'll have the phrase of the week.
Right. So you want some music?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll shut up now.
Yes.
You got me going on that one. Reclining airline seats. Recline. If you don't like it, shut up. Turning left or right on the road. Don't swing the opposite way before you turn your vehicle. You're an idiot. Don't do it. It's dangerous. Really seriously dangerous.
Mm.
And if someone parks outside of your house, tough.
Okay.
They have every legal right so to do. And if you threaten them, did you realise you're breaking the law and they're not? Just saying.
Yeah.
Actually,
okay.
You're threatening to cause damage. Right. Should we move on?
Yes, please.
And on to you, Facebook and YouTube. We had an Andy B rant, which I don't apologise for.
That's a big one. Lots.
That was
huge.
Yes. And it's all your fault. Right. Thank you for tuning in on Facebook.
Yes, thank you.
We'll be back now, not with this until a week Sunday.
I know. So
No live stream on Friday. There'll be no live stream chat and chocolate with tangents from Peter because we'll be driving to Yorkshire, and on a week Sunday we'll be in Yorkshire driving home again.
Yeah.
So no more live stream now until a week Friday.
Yeah.
And this will be back on a week Sunday.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.